We'll call it to order at 4:30, and then will you do a roll call for us, Joanne?
Sure. Linda Wishbaum, Catherine Cox, Allie Cordova,
Here.
Bruce Katina, and Rob Lee. And absent so far are Kathy Keenan, Tom Kurtz, Michael Dillifree, and Bruce Montgomery.
Who's Montgomery, by the way? No one else is next week.
I believe he's traveling today. So we do have a quorum.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, and then I don't see any public to be heard. So has everyone had a chance to look over the minutes from our May meeting? Are there any revisions? Is there a motion to approve? Bruce, second. Bob, all in favor? Unanimous. Okay, and then I think we're ready for our sessions.
All right. The very first one is a windowsill that came from the executive director of the In-Between. They run a housing, low-income housing program, of which is now in the Great Western Hotel, which is a historic building in Longmont. This windowsill is carved with a swastika. It is thought that was possibly carved by a POW prisoner of war who was staying there. That building had been used as prisoner of war housing in Longmont during World War II. It's just been, sitting in her office. So she went to that Attitude event, and I said, would you be interested in donating that to the museum? And she said yes. We have a few digital photos taken by Robin. So that was the first one. The next one is a few digital photos taken by Robin Erickson to the city of Longmont with the removal of the clock from the Safety and Justice Center. That clock, stood for like 30 years almost?
Yeah, 33.
And didn't work for most of the time. They offered the clock to the museum, and I declined because it was $80 or something like that. But I said I'd take some pictures of it. The next one is from Caden, who works at the front desk on Thursdays. He was not interested in donating the physical pictures to me yet, but he did let me take digital scans of them. One is this awesome picture of a man and a dog in a car at 4th and Kaufman. And then 2 pictures that was marked in the back, Longmont Dam, 1928. So we think that is the tribute marketing. And then next we have a photo of the class of 1948 at their 50th anniversary in 1998. Yep. And they are all posed with the jitney fence, which was used at Danson's Roosevelt Park Auditorium. And they had a corresponding booklet that gave obituaries, or at least memorial obituaries, to all the class members that had passed away until then, and some of them were pretty informative. The next one is a panoramic photo of Longmont's front range with all of the peaks marked from 2007. We didn't have one of these in the collection, so the opportunity might have had this what we have in the and then from Greg Barton, we have quite a few things. So Greg purchased the Longmont Drug, which is at the corner of 4th and Main on the west side. It's now High Plains Main. It did say that is an original old building underneath the modern facade. It was run for many years. He had bought it from the previous owner, Frank Heatherly, whose parents started it. It was an old-timey type of drugstore with a soda fountain. He had many stories to share about all the different people in Longmont that would come and drink coffee at the drugstore. And this is the desk that Frank Heatherly would use to paste on the. It's filled with labels that would have gone on glass bottles. The desk has cigarette burns because apparently he used smoking cigarettes the whole time. And there's some really interesting labels. I mean, there's ones that specifically say Longmont drug, but there's poison ones. There's Coca-Cola as a medicinal label for nausea. It does say that cocaine extracts from and there's a lot of really interesting little labels that kind of mark this time in pharmacy book. Along with that was a prescription book. It actually was just a few months worth, about 1,000 prescriptions in this one book. I did ask the question, what did you do? Why does this one survive? And he just was like, I decided to keep it. Usually they were thrown out. And it's a fascinating book with all these different types of drugs that are not known anymore. It's also had a lot of birth control prescriptions, which that would be very early in 1966. There was also a scrapbook in there from the previous owners of Greg's house. He is the second owner of a house on Lincoln Street, just off of 3rd to the south. It used to be called First Street. So that scrapbook is directly from those first owners. Has pictures of the house, has pictures of a 1920s flood, the 1915 snowstorm, and pictures of the family, and then maybe some others that would be identified as Longmont locations. Another thing from the drugstore, a adrenaline vaporizer, it's a little glass thing. We have some things related to old-timey medical equipment, so I thought it would fit in well there. An embosser stamp, another scrapbook that's stamped Orleans Bookstore, and actually the poetry book. I took off a later version of this. I confirmed we have that, so just across it. A ICE delivery tag and an account book from 1921 that was then reused as a scrapbook. That's it? Yeah, that's it.
Should I ask historically how it ended up with your revenues so long?
Because a lot of our American young men were shipped overseas in order to keep the agricultural industry going. We needed workers in the fields. So they were shipping Italian and Germans, specifically here in Longmont, and they were staying basically downtown. That building was just right off the right diagonal from the hotel. And we would just pack them on the trucks and they work in the fields. Do you have pictures with barbed wire around that whole building? World War II.
Sugar was an essential war commodity since we were a sugar manufacturing area, sugar growing area. That's why POWs.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Do we have a motion to accept? Okay. Linda, do we have a second? Tom, all in favor? Okay, unanimous. And then report from the director.
All right, so you have my written report at the back of the packet. I'll highlight a few things from that. You can see we are in the midst of the transition. We've taken out Picasso. The Front Range Rising History Gallery is pretty much empty. So we're getting ready for start of construction. Maybe a little bit delayed from the original date we had hoped for in June, but hoping to get that underway this summer. Exhibitions, they are sort of switching between the deinstallation of these exhibits and then we'll be full on into construction of the Children's Gallery, which our working title is the Dream Lab. So it's very exciting. Elizabeth, you want to highlight anything in collections?
Yeah, big thank you to the exhibits team and to our registrar Eileen for handling packing all the Picasso stuff and taking everything down and deciding what's going to drop, what's going to into storage, and what's getting into our offsite collections storage. It's such a big project, so they've been working really hard. And our walking tours were sold out. I gave my last one for the seats for the spring season last Thursday. So every single one had a wait.
That's
We'll be
cool.
offering more come fall, including A's.
Education summer camp is really going well. We are getting towards the end of third week of camp, I believe. Second week. And it's been really fun. Lots of kids in. I got to observe some camps last Friday. It was just really fun to see kids being super engaged with different things. We had a cardboard construction camp, making these all kinds of constructions, big pieces, little pieces, all using cardboard. Cosplay, so older kids making costumes that then some of them were going to take to the Denver Fan Expo, and so really, really fun. They're doing a great job with the summer camps this year. Art and Public Places installed another piece at a new park in Longmont, Fox Meadows, over on the east side of town. It's called Bugling Elk.
We had a few council people that were there. It was fun.
Under auditorium, it's been a bit of a quieter time in the auditorium. The spring programs wrapped up May 1st, and then they will kick off the summer concerts tomorrow night. So we have Hazel Miller here tomorrow night for Juneteenth. If you are a member of the museum, you can come early, get the best seats, and then general public will be let in starting at 6:30 for the 7 p.m. Concert. Development, a lot of work every year on the Scientific and Cultural Facilities, the SCFD grant. It's always a huge project. We actually submitted it almost a week early, so kudos to both Megan Peters and Elizabeth Myers for getting all of the information into the auditors and to the SCFD so that we could submit it, and they said yes, we had everything we needed. Under visitor services, you can just look at, under gallery attendance, how dramatic the Picasso exhibit really was for our attendance. Picturing the West was a really nice photographic exhibit, but Picasso both months doubled, almost triple the attendance. So that's something that we will certainly be keeping in mind as we are developing and renting exhibits in the new museum. That those kind of bigger name artists really do engage the community very, very strongly. And also help us then build connections with our auditorium programming, which was also hugely successful this spring, tied into Picasso and early 20th century France and all the things around that. Marketing, we have a really big weekend coming up this weekend. So we have 3 different Pride programs. Friday night is a film, Paris is Burning. Saturday night is the Kiki Ball, which I mentioned to you all before. And then Sunday night is a film by a local filmmaker, Andrea Gibson, called Come See Me in the Good Light. That film has actually already sold out. So we're delighted by the response to that one. Unfortunately, the response to the other film and Kiki Ball have been pretty slow so far. So there's still plenty of tickets available for both of those. If you're interested in coming to see either of them, I believe we're now running a 2-for-1 special. So you want to do those. They're both great programs. We're really excited and doing a little bit of more of an experiment. And so hoping to get a good turnout. And also under marketing, just please let everybody know that while the galleries are closed down, we will still have our full slate of programs. So that will not change despite the galleries being closed. And then there was had some great evaluation done on Front Range Rising before it closed down that we'll be able to use both as we do our long-term temporary history exhibit that will be in this gallery, and then ultimately the permanent history exhibit that we're still in early stages of developing also. Any questions on the director?
I do have a question around and sorry, I'm not technically the board. It was around the scholarships. I was curious to know how many people who qualified took up on the scholarship opportunity. So low income.
So we have funding to do.
Is it 50?
Trying to. Joanne, do you remember how many scholarships?
Mm-hmm.
250 each. I think that. But we completely filled. All
Okay,
of
that's what I was wondering. Yeah, if those were scholarships are getting out there. I mean, for a while in years past, that had been a.
Yeah. I think it's 80 scholarships that we can do. And we always, in recent years, we've been able to use every scholarship.
Wonderful. That's good news. Thanks.
How many people do we turn away?
I don't know that. I know we always have a scholarship deadline.
Mm-hmm.
So folks that come after that deadline, I don't know. I don't think we turn away huge numbers, but that's also, I think people kind of know that our scholarships are limited. So if we had more funds, I think we would certainly be able to promote and provide more.
Yeah. And then I could talk to Ann about this too, but the demographics too. Are we reaching out to different cultures, different?
We definitely
ethnicities?
see our scholarship recipients are more diverse than the folks that full freight for that. So.
That's good news. Thank you.
Any other questions on the director? We are still looking for a wine sponsor. I think at this point, what we'll do is solicit a business or an individual to donate the cost of the wine, and we will just purchase that rather than we just haven't been able to find a distributor or a winery to do that because we can't use like a local liquor store. It has to be by the terms of our liquor license. And not with wine. don't think so. I think it has to be either the winery itself or its distributor. Certainly the costumes will be very outlandish. I think you can come in whatever you feel comfortable.
Okay. So you don't have to dress up for it to go.
To just come and watch, no.
But I think you can.
Right, it doesn't hurt. If you want to be, you want to look fabulous, there will be a lot of people there looking fabulous. Well, no other questions. Thank you all.
No, thank you, Eric. I don't have a report from the chair, but we did have under unfinished business the Discovery Days pricing structure.
Yeah, so I think I had brought this up in an earlier meeting that we were discussing potentially a significant change to Discovery Days pricing structure, and the background behind that is right now people come in, they go to Discovery Days, and then it's $250 for adults and $250 for kids. So very reasonably priced program. But particularly when we have a family-friendly exhibit, then there's a lot of interest in, can we just go into the gallery? And so our front desk has had to do a lot of policing of, that is a separate fee and a higher fee. Right now, $5 for adults, $5 for kids, $8 for adults. And it felt awkward because our front desk was doing a lot of policing, and we were concerned that it wasn't always the best customer service, just because, you've got a parent with a kid, they're excited to go into the gallery, and we're having to say, sorry, nope. So we talked about, is there a way to do a combination where Discovery Days includes the gallery, or gallery prices include Discovery Days. But when we started really looking at that, and we're like, we need to recover the cost of gallery visits. We need to pay for staff for Discovery Days. There wasn't a way to do it that was not going to be a very significant increase for our Discovery Days attendees. And so also looking at when we reconfigure some of that issue, instead of being able to kind of sneak behind the front desk, everyone from Discovery Days will go right by the front desk again to go into the gallery. So there will be a little less need to be a really hard policing kind of thing. But one idea that was floated is maybe we do a discount, and then that way that can be something the front desk staff brings up. Say, hey, and if you want to see our wonderful children's gallery, you can get in there with $1 off for adults and kids for regular prices, which we're looking at probably increasing those a couple of dollars, which we haven't done in quite a while, to $10 for adults, $7 for kids. We are part of Recreation and Culture. The Recreation Department isn't super fond of any kind of discounts. So I thought, bring it all up to you all. Do we say, we don't typically give discounts to people that attend our programs, but this is a circumstance? Or do we say, no, we're comfortable with maintaining status quo on admission to the galleries, that it costs the same whether you go to a program or not. Just wanted to give all feedback and thoughts on that. We wouldn't be starting anything until fall of 2026 when we reopen. So we've got a little time. Good opportunity to take feedback from you. Tom?
Did
What's your projection if you do increase the cost or give a discount? What's the impact on the bottom line of it?
So right now, last year we made $87,000 from exhibit admissions.
Okay.
We believe from the increase and also the popularity of the Children's Gallery that, a conservative estimate is about $140,000 for a full year in 2027. Increase of over $50,000 from what is our all-time high. This year was our biggest year ever. 2024 was our biggest year ever for exhibit admission revenue.
Because what are the current admissions prices you're thinking about for 2026 for children and adult?
So for 2026, we're thinking $10 for adults, $7 for kids, and also for seniors. That doesn't quite keep pace with inflation from the last time we raised it in 2014, but it's not as big an increase as we were originally considering, which was $12 adults and $8 for kids and seniors. And feeling among city leadership was that was just a little too big of an increase.
Why is the reason sticking to that $12 $12 and $8?
So we had originally considered 12 and 8, and the assistant city manager and other city leadership felt like that was too big of an increase all at once. So we've scaled it back to 10 and 7. So, yeah, I mean, certainly one of the lessons we learned is don't wait 10 years between admission increases.
Yeah,
It just, it does produce more sticker shock. So I think we'll be revisiting it much more frequently. But not like an every year increase. Because we want, there's a lot of process involved in marketing change and all of the collateral and everything that has the admission in it. So every couple of years.
Are you guys also thinking about changing memberships?
Yeah, we'll be looking at that. We don't have a new membership structure, final pricing structure in place yet, but we'll be bringing that for feedback at a future meeting.
So, with the new footprint of the museum, those admission prices get you into the children's gallery. Like, what do the admission prices get you into?
So they will get you into 3 galleries instead of the 2 we have now. So it will be the children's gallery, the newly built feature gallery, and then this space, which will be where the history exhibit will be.
That's what I was wondering. I don't know if this makes sense or not. It might be way too complicated. But what I was wondering is if there was a way of offering discounted admission to only the children's gallery for the campers. Since usually it's parents with children, it seems like the children's gallery would be the draw. Although the parents might want to see the other galleries. So I don't know exactly, like if there's, because I hear you about this would sort of be an exception to providing discounts, which typically we don't. And so I was wondering if there was a way to make it a little bit more logical. But now that I'm thinking it through, I'm not sure there is. So it would just be and so the suggestion would be like $1 off adults and children. I don't feel like I have a problem with that.
I think logistically, depending on staffing, if we're able to get staffing, which is one of our budget requests for the children's gallery, then we could have potentially a 2-tier system. But logistically, it's definitely easier to just have one fee for all the galleries.
So it's split into 2 galleries, is that right?
The
And smaller.
the new space, so the room we're in now is about 2,300 square feet. The new gallery will be about 4,000 square feet. So significantly larger. Comes with the possibility, just as this gallery, we had split it using temporary walls. We are the first about 3 years, we don't have any exhibits booked that would be a splitting of the gallery, but it's certainly an option with a larger space to be able to divide it up and do multiple exhibits. That also comes with more time, needing to build 2 exhibits rather than 1, things like that. So it's one of the reasons we didn't do it right out of the gate. We actually designed the gallery very deliberately so that there are exits and everything on both sides, so we can split it into or do various configurations.
So do you need a recommendation from us on the Discovery Days pricing structure?
I don't think we need like a formal vote. A sense from you all that you'd be comfortable with a discount, or you'd be prefer to leave it without a discount is probably all I would need at this point.
Do you have like any data on like how many people who come for Discovery Days do pay for admission?
That is something that unfortunately we weren't really gathering consistently. What we have is anecdotal. I polled our front desk staff on how many people from Discovery Days go into the gallery, and the estimates were between 25% and 50% of the Discovery Days audience went into the gallery for a family-friendly exhibit. And Discovery Days last year was around, I believe, around 7,000 people attended Discovery Days. So,
Okay, around 7,000. And do you have like any data on how many like are members?
we do know about a quarter of our Discovery Days attendees are members. And we would anticipate that would certainly go up now that we have a children's gallery, and there's a sense that there's always going to be something for kids, a big space for kids, that more people will become members in that time. And members do get a discount on Discovery Days currently. They pay $2.25 rather than $2. And of course, they get into the gallery stream.
And that'll stay true.
That will stay true.
Yeah, I guess for me, I wonder if there is a way to like advertise that more or like capitalize on that, because I think like especially if you have multiple children, like $7 per child. If you came to Discovery Days, you have like even 2 kids, like 14, 24 with you going in, like 24 plus 5, so $29 for one trip to do Discovery Days and to go into the museum. Like you're very, very close to getting a family membership at that point. Like, I mean, that for my family, that's why we did it. Like my kids always wanted to go to the tree house. Like it was just like a thing that they wanted to always have happen with it. And so it was like, it just makes more sense to be a member. And that way I don't ever have to say no to you if I don't want to, and we can always do this. And so I do wonder if there is a way to kind of promote memberships within that idea that if you are going to want to do both every time, like yes, Discovery Days will still cost a small amount, but that like the price of the galleries really pays out so quickly for you. If you came 3 times a year, you have made a financially wise decision in that way, and that like I don't know if there's even a way that like you could count it towards like, oh, if I did this time, like could it be counted towards in the future or something. The idea I don't know, that it is something that would be valuable to them.
Yeah, we definitely tell folks, if you want to buy a membership now, that'll pay for itself. Or, we also, I believe, are able to, if somebody buys an admission and then, comes back out and is like, wow, I want a membership, then you can count that admission toward your membership fee. Because our membership has been growing by leaps and bounds. We passed 1,000 less than a year ago, and now we're over 1,200. So we are definitely seeing a lot of people that see the value in becoming members, which is great. Any thoughts?
I do wonder if you guys could collect data at the front desk. Of even just to say, like, how many people ask and then, like, don't go in? How many, like, at what point, like, would you? Because it's hard to know, like, anecdotally. But, like, if you were to see, like, we're going to Discovery Days. Ooh, we want to go to the museum, the galleries. Okay, this would be the cost. Oh, no, thank you. I think you would have a stronger sense of, like, well, if you offered that for, like, and sometimes a discount just makes people feel good. Like, I don't know that the museum on $1 off, like, would we lose the revenue? Or would the very idea that you're giving someone a deal make more people say yes? Because people, there is just a feel good thing of, like, okay, you're respecting, like, my attendance. You want me to come here. I feel welcomed. And it's maybe not even about the money so much as it is about feeling like, oh, well, now it's a good deal. Now we have to go to the galleries.
I was thinking something similar, really well said. I feel like a discount is almost like a marketing tool.
Right.
And it also is this opportunity to have this conversation about, like, how close you are to a family membership. And, if your kids want to go to the children's gallery every time, you can. And so it just seems like another opportunity to have conversations with people that might lead to them coming back. And so, just having options for people, discounts are attractive that make people interested and feel good. So, the other thing is like, we could try it for a year.
Yep.
Trial run. We could gather some data.
Right.
We could see.
That's the point. Are we saying that the first Saturday or something like that?
Yes, we do free days every second Saturday right now.
That's
and we also are part of the Museums for All program, where anyone with a SNAP or EBT benefit gets in at currently a quarter, just a very nominal fee. Yep, and the museum library pass as well. So, a lot of different ways to access the museum for a year at extremely low cost. Well, appreciate the input. Sounds like no one is strongly opposed to giving a discount, at least on a trial.
Yeah, I think it's kind of on trial basis makes more sense.
Do we have any other board comments? Things
Do have one bit of congratulations. We have Linda and Catherine have been reappointed to the advisory board, and we welcome Sheila as our new board member.
We did that last night around 12:30, almost midnight.
Oh,
By the time we got to that, there's a lot of discussion. Yeah.
And we are saying farewell to Bruce.
thank you so much, Bruce.
Just so we can consider that sort of voter.
City Council hosted an ice cream gathering
Oh, yeah.
yesterday. There were 3 of us. Actually, a good turnout from the museum. It was a great opportunity to promote the museum to some of our city council members. We ordered a couple of them and talked for
Good.
an hour. So,
Good.
welcome, appreciated, and good opportunity to also learn about other boards and commissions.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Said, oh, you remember Nicole's husband just joined into our arrival.
Uh-huh.
His name Nicole, the woman on the board, his name Nicole.
Nicole, uh-huh.
And she was talking about her husband. I think it says you were talking to her.
Yeah, so I also am liaison to the library board. So when I look at like that last name, where did I see that before? What's that? To arts and public places, as well as RCAB, the Resource Conservation Advisory Board, and what else? And Youth Council. Yeah. So that's, and I like how it's all interconnected. So when I was able to coordinate with arts and public places and our city departments to do that artwork at Countryside Village, and I believe we had Anne came by and was able to connect with families at Countryside, and that the catalyst for that was that drive-by shooting. At that, they ended up shooting the 3-year-old. Oh, Harold! Oh, his ears are ringing. I'm talking about him. No, just kidding. And so the intended target was a former student of mine. So that was, yeah. So that was tough, and it was the community hurting and living in fear, and it's like, no, we have to get out there, and if there's other ways that we can bring in these resources. So we had over 50 parents, those point of contacts with the parents. I got to get this.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
Thanks so much for going.
Said there was a minute that was in that they were giving some ice cream and
Oh,
Okay, wow.
Yeah, my wife was very happy. So, those are the comments.
Oh, that's a very good one.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Catherine, do we have a second? Bob, all in favor? Okay. I have us adjourned at 5:13.